Alright, so now we're being handed off to the French ATCs, so we're gonna acknowledge the handoff. And say bonjour. And hit B and D, even though the altimeter didn't change. We're going a little bit faster than 100 knots here. It's about 108 or something, which is fine. I kind of want to speed it up here. I don't want to waste too much time. I guess at this point is as good a time as any to start talking about what we're really waiting for here. So we're still flying on the autopilot with alt, obviously, or altimeter as locked to 4,000 feet because we haven't gotten any other instructions, and this is our assigned altitude. And on heading bug, which means we're flying with this thing at the assigned course 175. But in the background we have this thing set to nav. We have our nav radius tuned to the ILS frequency that we found out about in the GPS. And these are now our gauges we're looking at, specifically the top one for us right now. And you can imagine we're kind of scanning. We're waiting for us to get into range of the ILS radio beacon. It's literally a radio beacon. We have to get into range. Right now we're not in range, and you can see this. And I'll zoom in here. There we go. Gotta just quickly grab my gamepad actually. And we can see, if I manage to keep the view on it, there we go, that there's these white and red kind of barbershop lines here, and they will they mean what they try and tell you is you're not in range yet. Okay, this means we're not in range, and it has this here as well. So our radios are not in range with the ILS yet, and at some point they will go away and these lines will start moving, and that'll mean to us now we're actually in range, or we're established on the localizer, is I think what they call it. So that's good. So we're waiting for those things to go away, and also for new kind of commands from ATC at this point. Again, I'll join you back when anything like that or anything else happens. And there we go. That actually just sprung our needle into place. There's still one signal we're waiting for, but apart from that, it looks good. So this lower one we're not really going to use, but we're going to talk about this upper one again. So let me zoom in on that again just a little bit. All right, so this is, oops, I accidentally fought the autopilot there. I meant to move the other stick. So this gauge, the way it works is this is a horizontal alignment needle, and this is a vertical one for the glide slope. That's why it says GS. Like for example, right now, what it means is this dotted line is us. So it shows that we are to the right of the runway. This one is the runway. So this is us. This is the runway. We're to the right. If you look onto our GPS, it actually doesn't seem correct, but I think it's actually I'm not sure what's going on there. If you know what's going on there, let me know. Yeah, it's weird. I don't know. But anyways, and this is the glide slope. So this means, I guess this must mean that we're to the left of it instead of to the right. I don't know. The autopilot will use it for us for now, and I'll look it up because I'm a little bit confused here. But anyways, this is the glide slope. This indicator right now, it would say that we are right on the glide slope, but that's just because it hasn't sprung into action quite yet, and it will hopefully do that soon. Once we're established on the localizer again, because once we're actually sort of on the glide slope or close to it. And this thing will go up and down here on the right side. And you know, if it goes up, we're under the glide slope. If it goes down, we're over the glide slope. Okay? And if we're on it like this, we're exactly on spot. And the glide slope just is the kind of the about 300 feet per minute descent that we're going to make here for this airport. But again, this is all going to be automatic, so we don't really have to do too much. Right now, we're literally waiting for the ATCs to tell us that we can go ahead and approach. runway 23. And once they do that, we can switch to nav mode, and hopefully by then the glide slope will also have come into life, and then we can start our automatic approach, our ILS approach. Okay, another handoff. This one is to an approach. Acknowledge that. And talk to the new guys. Contact Deauville approach. Hit B and D. There we go. They're gonna talk us down here, probably give us the clearance to land, hopefully relatively soon. Obviously, if we wanted another approach, we could select that here, or select a completely different airport for a destination. We could cancel this whole thing and go visual as well. We're not going to do anything like that. Let's close that window and wait for further instructions. Also note, the glide slope has actually come into life while that was going on. It shows us that we're under the glide slope, and that's good. You always want to be under the glide slope, fly into the glide slope, and then everything will be great. Also, we should actually be able to see the runway here at any time. Oh, I'm not seeing it yet. I might just be a little bit too far away, but it should be somewhere on that coastline, close to that coastline there. So I'll be back in a bit. All right, left 135. We're still on heading, so we can just shift the heading back. 135. Don't forget to acknowledge. 135. There we go. So they're making us fly kind of what's it called? A perpendicular, I guess, to the runway first. Now let's make a turn to the right here pretty soon, I assume, and then hopefully tell us that we're clear to land.